Hi guys! This is going to be our update video for July, August, September, and October. In July, we got to work with the Tom Coxwell Ministries mission team and have my parents here visiting. And at the end of July, beginning of August, we had a visit from my pastor from my home church in Irving, First Baptist Irving, Pastor Jared and Brother Justin came and they helped in teaching here at the seminary. They did some conferences over the weekend on how to study and teach the Bible well. We had a lot of different leaders and Bible study teachers from the churches in our area come, and they were all very interested in the topic and enjoyed having Justin and Jared teach. Jared got to teach a section on counseling others with the Bible, and it was really cool to get to see him teach and see Pastor Jared teach. And then Pastor Jared on Monday taught a special lesson for the pastors in our area on a Christ-centered approach to teaching from both the Old Testament and the New Testament. And they were very interested. They were they had a lot of questions, and the time was really short. And I know they're really interested in having Pastor Jared back to teach. And this is the first time that my home church has gotten to send a group, and it was really exciting for me. I was really happy. I think it's been an answer to prayer to get to be more connected to my home church, and I was very thankful to have the group out. And the original team who was going to come didn't get to come. We had some changes. Sorry I didn't get to see you guys. Thanks for wanting to come, but also thanks for sending Pastor Jared and Brother Justin. We're hoping to continue getting to work together on trips like this. And Jared and Justin left, and immediately that same day they left, the semester began here at the seminary. And we're about halfway through the semester already. I'm teaching 3 English classes this semester and 2 missions classes, one called The Church and Culture and another on Intro to Islam. For the Intro to Islam course, we're using a book by Nabil Qureshi called Searching for Allah, I Found Jesus. And the first time I got to teach this course, just a very basic intro course, because the students here haven't really ever considered Islam. There is so much Catholicism here that they don't often get access to believers from other religions. And the first time I got to use a textbook that I had been sent. But this semester I decided to include this book by Nabil Qureshi because it's in a biographical format, and I think the students have really enjoyed the reading. It's pulled them in, it's taught them a lot, and it gets them really ready to discuss things in class, because it's not just them learning a bunch of facts about another religion, but they're getting to see things through the eyes of someone who was a Muslim. And thank you, Brett Bacon, for the recommendation of that book that you recommended me actually years ago, and I'm getting to use it now. I'm also getting to lead the practical ministry hour once a week. The students here on campus have an hour where they meet with a professor, and it's in a group. So the morning students have one group, the evening students have one group of theology, one group for missions, and as one of the missions professors, I'm leading the practical ministry hour for the missions students. So we have 5 missions students this semester, and thank you for your continued prayers for the growth of the mission school. And so we get to sit down each week and talk about how did their work in church planting go this week, how did their ministry go, what were some of the difficulties they faced, what were some of the things that they saw the Lord do, and also get to talk about other ministry-related things that they may not really get to go in depth in class. And I've enjoyed that time with them. At first, it felt a little overwhelming to have one more thing added to the schedule, but it's been nice to sit down and really have a little more personal time with the students, to have time for them to get to pray for each other. Uh, I'm sure many of you have already heard that one of our close friends and colleagues, Pastor Tito Sevilla, passed away in July. And this trip was actually one of the last things that Tito planned before passing. He always had on his heart to see the mission students getting more intercultural missions opportunities and to kind of get out of their zone. And so he started to set up this trip for the mission students to get to go to the jungle. So on Friday nights at 6:30, when we have our practical ministry hour each week, we've been talking about ministry, but also beginning plans for our mission trip that we'll take in the second week in December. So I ask that you be praying for the plans and praying for that mission trip. This semester at the seminary, I'm also getting to act as advisor for one of our students who's finishing his, I guess we'd call it a kind of a bachelor's thesis here at the seminary for a student to get his licenciatura, his licensure, I guess, in theology. If you'd like to finish the full degree, he has to write a final paper, and the student who I'm advising this semester, he's doing an exploration of different topics in apologetics, in the divinity of Christ, and the existence of God, and also talking a little bit of how we can maybe teach these topics in the church, their importance for the church. So we have 3 students who will be finishing their theses this semester, and I get to advise one of them. In the Ministry of Evangelism and Missions, which I think, if you remember, Nilton and I are still part of that volunteer team until next June in 2020. And as representatives of all the Baptist churches in our association, we've been getting to help work with the missionaries who are working in 3 cities. And in Peru, this year we've been working on a project to buy land for the future church building, and that's been something I've been working on a lot, and getting to lead meetings between the mother church and the mission church. I've been learning so much about how to intermediate, how to lead people when there's been misunderstandings, how to set goals for big projects, and that's been a really great experience for me, and really fun and cool to get to see how it's played out on the field, how we have this mission church that's growing, and getting to be a part of them getting their own church building. In Huamachuco, in the mountains, Nilton has been the representative to that with that mission church. And one thing they've been working on is helping the brothers and sisters there understand their goal of being able to be an independent church, and also looking for a new place to rent. They had found one place, and that fell through, so we asked that you would pray for a new place for them to rent or buy. In Himbe, another town up in the mountains, we've been working on helping that mission church, their members grow in leadership, because the missionary there is getting close to retirement, and he's taught them really well, but they all feel like the next step is them really learning more to lead themselves. So I ask that you pray for that this weekend, October, I think it's 19th and 20th. I'll be up there getting to be a part of some of the women from the Women's Union here in the Baptist churches in Trujillo, going and ministering to the women there. So I ask that you pray for our trip. If you read our newsletter or our latest email, Nilton has been elected as the missions director for the Peruvian branch of Tom Coxwell Ministries. That's been something that he's been excited about. We've both been really excited about. It's something that I feel was an answer to prayer as we prayed and asked the Lord what He wants Nilton to be doing during this time. And his main focus right now has been helping to intermediate between churches in the States and churches here who are doing church planting projects together. So it's definitely been a learning curve, having to deal with payrolls and strategies and how to all be on the same page with both the missionary and the folks in the mission church and the mother sending church and the folks in the church in the States who's supporting the project. And so I ask that you pray for Nilton as he continues to grow in that role. We both know that it's something that the Lord has been preparing and planning for us to be a part of. He's also volunteering as the secretary for the Tom Coxwell Ministries Peru, and that has entailed a lot of paperwork because we're in the process of being formally recognized by the Peruvian government. The idea of opening up a Peruvian branch of Tom Coxwell Ministries is that it will facilitate the ministry that Tom Coxwell Ministries does here in Peru. Be easier to work on building projects at the seminary that are partially, in a great way funded by donations from folks in the States. It'll help us receive more recognition from the government. It'll just make things easier. As the last thing, I ask that you pray for my health. I've been doing all right. I've been doing pretty good. Been feeling happy, feeling good about the work that we're doing. But I have been feeling a little sluggish. The last time I had my thyroid tested, it was a little off, and thankfully I wasn't off enough to be diagnosed with hypothyroidism or some kind of thyroid disease. But my doctor said we really need to watch it, and we're hoping to be able to control it through diet and supplements and getting good rest. So I ask that you pray that the Lord would help me to sleep well, to go to bed early, to stick to exercise and dieting. And if over the next couple months I don't start to feel better, I think something we might look into is maybe supporting my thyroid through medicine. But I ask that you'd pray for that and just pray for health in general for me and Nilton. And I'm really thankful for those of you who watch these videos who support us through prayer, and thank you also to those who support us financially. We're currently in need of more monthly supporters and more one-time donations. So I ask that you would consider, if you have not been able to support us financially, I ask that you would consider becoming part of our financial support team. And we're just thankful so much for all of those of you who have supported us through emails and phone calls and prayers. I know that all the work that we've been able to do is because we have you guys supporting us. We love you in the love of our Lord Jesus Christ, and please let us know in the comments if there's any way we can be praying for you. Well, we love you guys. Thanks for listening and watching, and hope to talk to you soon.